So, one of the most important things about fitness, which I look at fitness as a stepping stone, right? It's the beginning, not the end. When you work your ass off and you get through these certain plateaus and you invest in yourself and you get to this point physically that you're happy with, well, then we do minor tweaks. But at some point, it never fails. You're going to turn it into a mental battle. It's going to be one that you have fixed the things on the outside. We have some faith in our ability to do so, and now we start investing in what's in the inside. How do we perceive the person in the mirror? And it becomes less about how other people perceive you. So, with that mentality, I get asked a lot, how do I stay motivated? Where is the determination at? How do I stay consistent? And the truth is that there's not an easy answer to that. A lot of the times I'm not motivated. Sometimes I fall short. Sometimes I disappoint myself. Sometimes the workouts aren't that great, right? And the mindset isn't as clear as I would like it to be. But I call it controlling the controllables, right? Robbing from Peter to pay Paul. And I use that analogy a lot because it fits so many different skins. And it's something that you should really think about. The controllables. I know that when my alarm goes off, I have set a block of time for myself to prove if I've got it. And it's something simple. When the alarm goes off, do I snooze it? No. Now, how do I stop from snoozing it? I keep my phone further away from me, right? The only thing I can control is my feet hitting the ground outside the bed, going to the bathroom, starting my routine, getting dressed, getting in my truck, going to the gym. I can have an awful workout. It happens, right? I can still be under motivated. It happens. But the beginning of this mentality shift is realizing that I've already completed the hardest part, and that's getting it going, right? Once the ball is rolling, the momentum can take off. You're going to constantly have to feed that fire. Just because you're burning bright with this desire to do better one week doesn't mean that next week you won't fall into temptation. A few things have helped me along that journey as well. One, my sobriety. My sobriety made everything clear. It made me think, but during that time, I had to relearn who Caleb was. I've been through a lot of misfortune, a lot of unfortunate events that are heartbreaking, and I wouldn't wish them on others, but it's something that I needed to do, and it was a cross that I was supposed to bear, and I understand the point of it now because it's these conversations. I'm lucky to be in the point that I'm in, and I'm humbled to be surrounded by the people I'm surrounded by. At the end of the day, everything we have is community based, and if you surround yourself by trash, you're going to become trash. If you're surrounding yourself with trash and you're uplifting, you got to be careful because you can only put so much water in a cup that has holes in it before you run out yourself. There needs to be a continuous give and take of these things where people are investing in you and taking the time to give back into you. There's only so much love you can give, and you don't want to give to the point where you have no more for yourself. So always keep a little in reserve. The next thing is appreciation. I used to hate the person in the mirror. The things that I've done in this life I wasn't very proud of. I changed the narrative of that and realized that I was given a hand and I played the best I could with what I had at that given time. That doesn't mean that I have to play the hand the same way for the rest of my life. And it doesn't mean that my cards are going to be the same. A lot of these things are lessons learned, and you can have it to where they ruin you and they bring you down, and at some point or another they might. But the idea is that as we process this information and we continue to grow, we're able to manipulate what that future looks like, right? You start speaking positivity in the universe and believing in yourself. The moment you believe in yourself and then you surround yourself with like-minded people that got the same goal, the same passion, doing on the same mountain, you're gonna have help. So a lot of this mentality shift is just taking small little pieces and putting it together to where you can be successful. But it starts with investing in yourself and being able to admit, one, sometimes you were the bank robber, right? Sometimes you made poor decisions and you were in fact the problem. When you take accountability for that and you really resonate and reflect on it, at that point you're going to get to another level. The things that happen to you isn't because of poor you. It's because that's something was supposed to be built out of purpose with that. And now whether you're doing that or not is entirely up to you, but the victim card is never the answer. We find solutions, we grow, we're driven by purpose. I don't know about your religious preference. It's really none of my business. But I know mine. In the moment that I started bringing my faith along with me and pushing that above the other things, I was gifted with a certain amount of wisdom that allowed me to understand that not all of these things were solely based to get Caleb. Some things were just supposed to happen, and they happened. We played the game the best we could with the cards we were dealt. That doesn't mean that every single game you play is going to be played the same way. So you stay up, you stay motivated, you take the initiative on the first part of your day. Let your feet hit the ground, make it to the bathroom, get to the gym, control the controllables. The rest of it we'll figure out after. Keep your head up.